Mr. Porter.
Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros. Thank you for joining us for another Realty Talk this afternoon. We are going to go ahead and jump right in. We have again with us today our owner, Mr. Shea Maurice Porter, and we're going to start, we're actually going to pick up from where we left last week. The training last week started us in a path of setting up our business like a business. And so that was part one that we received last week. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick up on part two of setting up our business like a business. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to turn it over to Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Ms. Anitha. I'm going to go ahead now. I heard Caroline, you had a question real quick before we begin?
No, I'm going to hold my questions and my comment to the end because I don't want to miss anything because I already missed some of it. So I'm good.
All right. Well, you might want to write it down, Caroline. You know your memory. Never mind. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started, guys. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to share my screen and y'all can tell me if you see it. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do a recap from last week. So last week we talked about business, and we talked about establishing your business like a business, how to register your business with the state. And just to go over for those of you who may not have seen that training already, you just need to go to the state first. And I said, and I use the analogy that the state business license is like a birth certificate. All right. And in order for you to establish a new entity is a life. Okay. For the sake of business, it's a separate being, if you will, that you get to establish in order to benefit your business. And we talked about the different ways to name and not name your business, especially in real estate. You don't want to use the words realty. You don't want to use the word real estate in the name of your business. You can use group, you can use associate, you can use team. And we even told you that that's in the library. And in the library under broker policy manuals, I think it's under number 7, it tells you about naming your groups, teams, what have you, but you don't want to be in violation of your naming rights for your entity. And you don't want to waste that money establishing your entity, and then you got to go back and make changes because that can be very frustrating. So naming your entity is important. That's like the birth certificate, right? You know, in that birth certificate, in order to go with that birth certificate, you need a social security number. The social security number for a business is called an EIN, employer ID number, or a TIN. All right. So it's EIN or TIN. You might see, they say, hey, I need your TIN, your TIN, or I need your EIN. It's the same thing. That is a number that's given to you and it's free. But you don't want to get that number until your name is approved by the state. Because if the name, for instance, if somebody else is using that same name, the state is not going to approve it. If the name violates some type of regulation, they're going to make you change it. If you don't follow the protocols that the state or the state guidelines, they're going to make you do something to update it. All right. I'll give you an example of what I mean. If in the state of Maryland, for instance, if you open up a nonprofit, and this is just off the script, but I just want you to get an idea. You already have to have an entity that is in good standing that's going to be the agent for the nonprofit. So you as the individual in the state of Maryland can't be the agent, nor can any individual be an agent for a nonprofit. The only entity that can be an agent for a nonprofit is another entity that you've established previously. And I hope that makes sense to you. So if some of you want to start nonprofits and all that kind of stuff, you have to have an entity already established in order to even do that. So if you're going to a foreign jurisdiction for other reasons, for instance, I mentioned Delaware, and I like Delaware. I like Delaware a lot. Matter of fact, right now it's time for us to renew the Maryland State Agency for some of our LLCs, and they have a tax that they call it, but it's really just they just want some money to renew. They charge you $325 in the state of Maryland. They only charge you $170 initially, around $170, $180 to get it established, get your EIN established in the state of Maryland. But every year you have to pay $325 to them to renew it in order to stay in good standing. If you don't pay it, you'll go and they'll say, hey, your business is not in good standing. We can't offer you any business credit. And you like, what do we do to not be in good standing? You didn't give us $325 to the state of Maryland. That's what you did. So you got to go get that $325. And as soon as you do it, it's a good standing. That's all it means. It means you didn't pay that $325. Pay the $325 back in good standing. Well, what a lot of people have done is because they're exploring becoming what's called a foreign registered entity. And a foreign entity means you're outside of the state of which you live doing business. Some of the foreign entities that people use commonly for a lot of the benefits they afford, like some people just want to be anonymous. So if they're an anonymous entity, one of the states, and I'm just sharing this with you guys because I think it's interesting. I think you guys should know some of the background. One of the entities that you can be really good and be anonymous is in the state of Nevada. Now, I want somebody to come off mute just for a second and tell me why you think Nevada might be notoriously recognized for being a great place to start an entity if you're looking for anonymity. Somebody come off and just take a guess.
Okay. Mr. Porter, my first guess has to do with organized crime. It has to do with the mob.
It could be.
Because people, they wanted to run money and launder money through legitimate businesses without having the entities of the government know who's really behind it. So I would think that would be the first group of people that really look for, because the mob kind of built Vegas anyway. So that would be my thought.
Okay.
Could I also share?
Sure.
So I think it really comes down to taxes, right? So Nevada, from my understanding, doesn't have a state income tax or a corporate tax or a franchise tax. That alone makes it great. Never mind the implications of supposed intermingling of corrupt practices within the government, but the significant tax savings in itself is pretty great. Additionally, Nevada, like Delaware, which is another great state to incorporate, it has really strong protections when it comes to legal business entities. So you have that. You have a really a 1-2 punch when it comes to incorporating in Nevada.
Absolutely. And Sean, you hit the nail on the head. But one of the other things that I found interesting in just doing some digging is because prostitution is legal out there, and the people that own brothels didn't want people to know who they were. So that's just that makes sense, Daddy. All of that makes sense. Then with the tax implications and everything. But this is how different states have positioned themselves to attract people who are starting business entities to come and have foreign entities in those states, right? So that I just thought that was interesting. Delaware in particular has a specific court that protects, if you will, for lack of a better word, I don't know a way to describe it, but it protects those people who form entities in their state. And then the other thing about Nevada and Delaware is that the cost of registering a business in those states is minimal compared to state of Maryland. I know, for instance, in Delaware, by the way, Delaware, I don't think allowed to do, if you're trying to do nonprofit, I don't know if you can do it in Delaware, but their courts, in order to establish an LLC in Delaware, it's only $65. And then that renewal fee once a year is only $75, or vice versa, something like that, 65 and 75. And that's significant when you think about, the fact that you live here. You don't have to do it. You don't have to get a registered agent here, because you can be your own registered agent in the state of Maryland, but you will have to pay for a registered agent more than likely if you incorporate in a foreign jurisdiction other than where you live. But anyway, those are all things you'll learn. But the most important thing is to get the birth certificate for your business. That's all. I said all of that to say this very fascinating. There's different ways to do it. But you want to get the birth certificate for your business, number one. And number two, you got to get a social security number, that EIN, right? Now, you want to go to the bank and you want to open up an account, right? And you want to open that account not in your personal name, but in the name of the new entity that you form. And they're going to ask you for 2 documents. Can you guess what those 2 documents are? The birth certificate and the social security number of your business, ergo your articles of incorporation. That's the birth certificate. And your EIN number or TIN. You take those 2 documents, they're going to open up a bank account for you. They may require a minimum deposit to open up the account. All right. Then you're going to have to determine which package you want with the bank, like you do with anything else, right? Even some of your credit unions are really good if they have a business division. Now, not all credit unions do, but the credit unions give you better rates because they're regulated as nonprofits. So with all that being said, you need to make all of these determinations. Mr. Porter can't give you advice on who to use and how to use it. I'm just telling you what. So once you have all of that, you open your bank account up, you put your money in there. That should be the W-9 that you then give to Porterhouse so that we know how to pay you. And when I say pay you, I mean pay your business, okay? So if Mr. Sean opens up Sean Holdings and Sean Property Pros, then I know he wants to be paid either under Sean Holdings or Sean Property Pros. If Sean Property Pros, that's one of the businesses that he could have under his umbrella business, which is Sean Holdings. Now he has Sean Property Pros, right? Sean Property Pros is the arm of his businesses that he uses for real estate. And he wants to give me the W-9 for Sean Property Pros. And not, when I say W-9, the W-9 is just an IRS form that you got to fill out to tell me who to pay. Because you all have all given me a W-9. Either you're giving it to me in your own name or you're giving it to me in the name of your entity that you've created. However it is, that's who you're going to be paid. That's what's going to be paid when we send you commissions, either to your business or to your personal name. All right. But if Sean gives me Sean Property Pros, he's going to give me a new W-9, not for Sean Child, but for Sean Property Pros. And Sean Property Pros is now who Porterhouse International is going to be sending commissions to. All right. Now, you need to talk to a business advisor about how to, or a tax accountant or a tax attorney or somebody about how to structure all of that other stuff inside of your business, or financial advisor, because I'm not going to tell you all that because that's your business. But I'm telling you what to do because a lot of people don't know this is how you do it. Now, in order to get business credit, you need to open up a Dun & Bradstreet account. Now, unlike your FICO, which is your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian that's attached to your personal credit, the business credit Dun & Bradstreet doesn't necessarily track your business for credit if you don't have an account open with them. We didn't ask for FICO, a FICO score. We didn't ask TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian to track us. They just do it personally. But you have to ask Dun & Bradstreet to track your business for credit purposes. You have to create an account. Now, Dun & Bradstreet is not only the business credit place, if you will. They also have services. Of course, they want to sell you. So, hey, we can get your business credit up. So if it's worth it to you, if you have some money or you're trying to, gild the lily that way, you can actually pay them and they'll show you how to build your business credit. They'll give you some tips to get you in, but then if you want to really make it happen, they'll ask you for some money, and you put the money, and they'll actually help you build your business credit. So you don't really have to struggle. You just have to go through the steps in the process. And I remember sitting down with, matter of fact, she's our agent of the year, and walking her through her first process of establishing her entity. And we had to go back and forth a few times with the state of Maryland, but she was so happy when she got it all over and done with. So you have to go through the process and get it done. Some of the important things before you apply for credit also is to make sure you have a professional email. Now, all of you all have a professional email. The way they look at professional emails is if it says at Gmail or at Yahoo or at, some of y'all got AOL. Okay. Some of y'all got Hotmail. I don't know what you're doing, but it's okay. None of my business. But any of those will signify that that's not a professional email. A professional email is normally your name at yourbusiness.com. So you all have, like Sean has Sean at porterhouserealtypros.com. So he already has a professional. So they're looking for that. The other thing is the website. You all have Sean.porterhouserealtypros.com. And now it's matching. All of it's matching. You can use your telephone number, but they're also going to research to see where your business is located. All right. Porterhouse is at 1400 Mercantile Lane, Suite 150. They pull it up, they're going to see an office building. They're happy. They Google this stuff. A lot of times when you're applying for credit, they're just going to Google your stuff. They're going to see if your website is really real. And that's going to give the people that are processing a more comfortability to pass it through. And then you're going to be able to apply for a line of credit, credit card, or a loan. Now, that was the recap. Y'all have any questions? Because now we're going to go through some of this. Any questions?
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
This is Aurelia. I do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay, I did find out that I did establish an EIN
Okay.
for my business. I went to the bank and then I called IRS to confirm it. The other thing is because I did put Realtor, and I have a question about that because you said that they should have caught that, or they should have said that that was not something that they can use, but they did provide that name through the state of Maryland. So I was wondering why would they do that if it was not something I should use? And I do know that it's not because I looked it up myself. As far as Realtor, that kind of that associates the NAR, the NAR, because that's of course that's their trade name or whatever. Once
Exactly.
you are part of their association. So I am working to change that. I found out how to do it. I do have two business accounts, and they said all I have to do is kind of reapply, but they already have me established business. They would reapply that, and I can change the name through IRS as well. Once I change the name, I can still keep that EIN number. But I just had that question about why Maryland did not. Should they have disapproved that name if it wasn't supposed to be used?
Maybe, but ultimately it's your responsibility.
Okay.
It's your responsibility. It's my responsibility. So to know to know and verify before we get a name. So that's one of the most important things. When you choose a name, make sure that you verify. You can even call the board, because and even talk to. You can call the board that you're a member of and ask to speak to the attorney. They'll talk to you. They'll give you advice.
Oh, great.
You pay for that when you pay your
Okay.
board dues. So you have access to the board attorney. Give them a call.
Okay.
Yeah, just reach out to people. Yeah, I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on TV either. But yeah, that's how you learn. You just got to say, hey, before I do this, let me make some calls. Let me check on this. So yeah, it's really our responsibility to check on those things. And like you said, anytime you see like the word realtor, and you see that little circle beside the end of the name, and you see an R in there, that's a registered trademark. If you see a T, that means that's a trademark, or I'm sorry, it's registered. The name is registered. If it's an R, if it's a T, it's a trademark. If it's a C, it means it's copyrighted. And I'm saying that correctly. A lot of people say copywritten. It is not. That's not correct. It's copyrighted. Okay, it's RIGHT, not W. It's copyrighted. So if it's copyrighted or is registered or it's a trademark, you cannot use that in your name without their express written consent, nor should you want to. All right. So that's why realtor is a no-no. Okay. You can use it like when on your website it says it'll say Aurelia Douglas, comma, and then I'll put realtor, but you see that I put that little trademark thing right beside it because it's not saying that that you're using their name. It's saying that you're a member of that trade, that trade.
Oh,
So
that's good
you
to
follow what
know.
I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
has to have it. And you recognize in the same way you had a little fair housing logo and the same, all of those are registered trademarks,
Mhm.
right? So that's the way you got to remember that kind of thing. And it's tempting. I mean, I probably would have did the same thing had I not known these things. But I've
Mhm.
paid a lot of money and made a lot of mistakes. So
Yes.
now I know, like, hey, you don't want to, we're trying to help you not make it. We're trying to save you some time, energy, and money. And that's why we're doing this training, because we think it's very important. And a lot of agents and a lot of people in business just don't know. So that being said, I'm gonna try to go through these slides rather quickly because
Thank you.
these are the steps to forming and applying for business credit. We kind of talked about forming your business, going through it, create the account. When you go to when you get to the state of Maryland, these are some of the steps inside. We talked about the overall, now you're going into it. When you go to eGov Maryland, first thing they're gonna tell you to do is create an account. All right. Then you're gonna register a new business / search for the name you want. All right. You do not need to register a trade name. So they're going to ask you, do you want to register a trade name? You do not have to register a trade name at this point. You can, it just costs you more money, but you don't have to register a trade name. But you do want to search for the name that you want to use, right? Then you go through the steps that they'll take you through. Step one, they have you fill out a whole bunch. It's like an application. You keep filling everything in, all right? And that's called applying for the LLC, all right? You want to use your business email. You want to use a business address. You want to use this stuff because whatever they print out on your articles of incorporation, it should match what you put in the IRS so that when you take it to the bank, there's not a conflict. It doesn't look like it's all over the place. All right. You want to make sure that you're methodical in organizing yourself and thinking about the long term. This has to match this and this has to match that. And I have to make sure I use the same number, same address. That being said, you don't have to have any of your mail sent to your business address. I'm going to say it again. You do not have to have any of the mail sent to your business address, not in any state. They're always going to ask you, where do you want your mail to go to? So your business address is the place of business that you're claiming, but where you want the mail sent to could be your house, and it doesn't affect anything. You can have the mail sent wherever you want to. All right. So just keep that in mind. The business address is not going to affect wherever the mail is sent to. They're going to ask you, just like if you make a payment for something, you might have an address on your business account, but you want the mailing address to be something different. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope I didn't confuse you.
Yeah, but I have a quick question about
Sure.
that.
Go ahead. Please.
How
That's
do
what I'm here.
what business address can you use other than your address if you don't have a business address?
You can use Porterhouse, 1400 Mercantile Lane,
We
Suite
can use for that?
150. Yes.
Okay.
But don't get the mail sent there because it drive Khadija crazy.
Of course not. Okay.
Get the
That's
mail
good to
sent to
know.
your house.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. You can also get a registered agent. Okay, a registered agent, or now I caution you against getting like mailboxes, etc., or places in the UPS store and all that, because when they Google it, they're gonna see the UPS store. That's kind of an old way that we used to be able to get it, but now technology the way we have it now, those people are not, they're not impressed by that. It doesn't help you, put it that way, when it comes to getting business credit. And that's the whole goal, for you to establish business credit, establish your business like a business, run your business like a business. All right. Then you got to get to the place where you pay the fee. Now, even if you expedite it, it's going to be slow, but I usually expedite. Okay. but it's going to be slow, especially now. Now, sometimes they surprise you. Sometimes they surprise you in the state of Maryland. But the state of Maryland, for some reason, is particularly slow with approving your doc. You might forget. I mean, it takes so long, you might forget. And it pops up and it says, we have a question or you've been approved. You're like, what was this for? Oh, it finally came through. Even if you expedite, right? They'll just give you a timeline of when they'll do it. And what happens when you expedite is they'll press, I guess it pops up in somebody's screen and they just got to do it on that day. But yeah, I usually pay for the expedite because I know the other process is extremely long, especially when I'm trying to get the ball rolling. Okay. And then you wait for the response. And that's sometimes the hardest part. And then it really hurts if you have to go back and answer something and then you got to wait again. Okay. So try to get it right. Try to look at it thoroughly. Now, what I don't necessarily recommend anybody doing, I know a lot of people have done it, is like LegalZoom and all of that. There are businesses. Once you learn how to do this for yourself, you can actually start a business of registering people's business form. And what they do is they charge you twice as much. They charge you $300-400 to do something that'll cost you about $165-170 to do. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. They'll do it. They'll do it pretty good. You know, you might have some questions here and there. They'll get it through, put it that way. But cleaning it up will be up to you. Okay, so they'll get it done. And a long time ago, when I was doing business, you used to actually have to go down to the building in Baltimore and go up in there and wait in the long office, wait in the long line, file the register. And you would see people up there with a stack of papers registering other people's business, and that was their job. That's all they did all day. And so it's not a hard thing to do, especially now that we have the internet and we can do it online and you can pay online and all that kind of stuff. But back in the day, we had to physically drive up to Baltimore to do it. All right. So once you do all of that, now you got to go over to any questions about Maryland. That's the birth certificate. We got that out the way. All right. Y'all ready?
Cheryl has a question.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
I'm sorry. Mr. Porter, so the Dun and Bradstreet, why do you have to register with them? I mean, like, what do they do? I'm sorry.
They are the ones who give you basically a business credit score.
Okay.
But we didn't get to that yet. We coming down the pipe. So I'm going in order. So the birth certificate, now we're going to the Social Security, the EIN. When you want to do your EIN, you go to business/IRS Internal Revenue Service. You can put that in the link, or you can put irs.gov and just put in the search bar EIN, TIN, okay? So the employer ID number, also known as a tax ID number, is the number that you're trying to get for the new business you formed. Once it comes back after you waited and it's approved, don't do this before, because that name that you're about to put in the IRS should match the articles of incorporation that you got back from the state that are approved as your name. I want to say that. I can't say that enough. Once you click apply online and it says apply now, you go through the same kind of application process, but this one is much easier. It's very simple. You begin the application process. You're going to most likely check limited liability. Continue. You're going to answer some questions about your business, the address and all of that, which is going to be the business address that you use. They're going to ask you, do you want your mail sent to that business address? You click no. Another drop-down menu going to say, okay, where do you want your mail sent to? That's fine. All right. Put your personal information. They're going to ask you, they might ask you for your Social Security number. I think they do, because they want to make sure that they register that you are the owner of that business, right? Hit continue until it gives you a letter, and it's going to print you a letter. I mean, it's going to put it right up. Bam. It's going to, congratulations, your letter. Here's your EIN number for your entity. It just happens right there. You don't pay anything for it. Print, download, save, send it to your best friend. Make sure you never, ever lose that, because everywhere you go, as long as you have that business, everybody's going to ask you. If you get insurance, we need your EIN. If you get a bank account, we need your EIN. If you filling out a W-9 and you want Porterhouse to pay you, we need your EIN. You need that number forever. And the rule is, just like with Social Security numbers, you have one EIN for that business for life. All right. Remember, that is a very, very, very important document. All right. Any questions about the EIN? That's quick and simple. As long as the government website is up. Any other questions? Moving on. All right. Now, here's what Cheryl's question was. Dun and Bradstreet. Again, Dun is like the TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian that would be for your personal credit. This is for your business credit. So you click, you go to www.dnb.com, and you can see the picture of the website over to your right. It says Dun and Bradstreet go to market. Teams adapt during turbulent time. They got little articles on there and all that kind of stuff. They'll help you. I'm gonna see if I can scroll in a little bit. You see that all of these links: small business, finance, sales and marketing, third party risk, compliance. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that, guys. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I was trying to scroll in. Okay, all right. But anyway, what I was saying about Dun and Bradstreet, Cheryl, this is very important. Not only do they track business credit, they actually help you. They'll help you get finance. They'll help you with sales and marketing. They'll help you with, they're good at helping establishing your business. You can learn a lot just by getting the DUNS number and then by going through the processes that they'll teach you. And I would probably strongly suggest that you go ahead and do something with DNB, Dun and Bradstreet, to help your business credit grow, because then that's going to get you to the next process. Okay. So once you follow the step for your DUNS number, you don't have to buy anything, but they're going to offer you a ton of services. But you can just say, no, I just want to register. No, I just want to register. You sure you don't want this? No, I just want to register. You sure you want that? You know, it's one of those things, right? But once you register, bam, they'll give you a DUNS number. Okay, your DUNS number is the account that's associated with the business that you just established and you got the EIN for. So we just doing this in order, guys. You got it? We good? Any questions?
Yep. I have one more question. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So in order to get a business credit card, do I need to have a DUNS number?
You do not.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it may help you. So
Okay.
if you go apply for a business credit card and get rejected, that will show up on your DUNS report, or it will be noted somewhere, and they'll know, hey, this person applied, and everybody be like, uh-oh. It's like you know how they say if a bee stings a person and the other bees know where to go? You don't want to get stung, you know? That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it might help you to get done as, you know, if I'm gonna use my bee sting analogy, just go ahead and put the suit on and get your smoker out. They'll teach you how to deal with the bees.
Okay. Thank
There
you.
you go. All right. All right. Now, you did all of that. You did your birth certificate. You got Social Security number. You got your Dun and Bradstreet number. You Dun and Bradstreet helping you build the credit, but you can do some other things too, right? You need to go to a bank. You need to find a bank that you like. I can't recommend any banks for you. I can't. I won't. I will not. But you need to do some research on the banks. You can do some searches to find out what banks extend credit to small businesses, which one is the best. Are there any that's specific for realtors? Are there credit unions? Are there this? What should I join? You do all of that research. I cannot give you anything about that, because I'm just telling you the governmental and Dun and Bradstreet. That's where I have to stop. You guys have to do everything else, right? But go to the bank or credit union that offers you business, that has business accounts. Not all of them do. You need a copy of your articles, and you can do it probably electronically now, but back in the day, I had to print them all out, have it in a folder, go down there, bring a copy of your EIN letter from the IRS, because they're going to want a copy of that. Well, like I said, now you can probably upload this stuff. They're going to need to see your identification. Then I want you to deposit enough funds as required to at least open the account. And then after 3 to 6 months, building some type of credit or relationship with the bank, show some accounts, money coming into the account, however you need to do it. You can loan your business money, okay? Talk to a tax accountant, talk to your CPA or your person that's doing your tax, and talk about, how can I loan my business money and then my business pay me back later? You know, it's an entity. It's your friend. You can loan your friend some money so that your friend can start doing business, or you can ask somebody else to loan your friend some money so that if your friend can do business. But that's how you have to think about it in order to get the idea of what you're trying to do. All right. So you apply for your loans, your lines of credit, or credit card for your marketing and expansion, because they're going to ask you why you need a loan, why you need a credit, why you need this. It's for marketing and expansion of your business. That's what it's for. Okay, because that's one of the items that they're going to be able to qualify you under. And you just want to make sure that you use that term. If you see something that say marketing or expansion of your business, that's what you want to apply for. They might say your business is too new. Come back in a little while. Keep putting money in that account. Come back in a little while. If you do the DMB route, or you do some trade lines or things that we talked about before, you might not run into the bee sting problem. Okay. All right. Also, the Maryland Small Business Development, I think is what it's called, Development Corporation, or have you.org. Okay. You can go, and I'm closing, guys. You can go to the Maryland Small Business Development, and they will help you. There are multiple resources, how to start your business, how to run everything that I'm telling you. They're gonna tell you, I already did that, I already did that, I already did that. I need the credit, I need some money, I need a loan, I need a small business loan. And if they have it, they'll help you get it, right? You can register now. Because of now, that's what I'm saying. We put this in here when it was good. Now it might not be good anymore. Go down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bullet number 5, registering as a minority-owned or woman-owned business. Well, if you all been listening to the new administration talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, they've kind of put a pause to all of this. So they're saying, hey, we don't care. We don't care if you disabled, a veteran, you're black, white, Chinese. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. It's all going to be based upon whether or not you're a good person to do business with. That's why we started out talking about your personal credit, down building business credit. It's credit worthiness. Okay, so they're looking at credit worthiness. So you can still register if you qualify for any of those things, but it might not necessarily, for now, for the next 4 years or more, maybe, who knows, necessarily benefit you. But it's good, and I always say this, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So if you're going to go through the process and get everything that you qualify for, because it gives you opportunities to be in first place should funds come available. All right. Then there are other funding options, including grants. Grants are a great word. Grants mean they grant you the money and you don't have to pay it back normally. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to do a certain thing and then they'll waive the rest. But generally, grants is a very good word because you don't normally have to pay it back. Okay. Any questions? I think I'm almost at the end. All right. Yep.
Darlene has a question, or she has her hand raised.
Oh, Lord. What I do now, Darlene?
Nothing, but there's something that I want to know about. I don't know if this is a setting for that, but I'm going to ask the question anyway, because I'm sure other people have the same question. Are you familiar with this BOI situation?
Yes and no. But let me get through this and then we can go back to that. Okay.
I just needed to get that out before I forget. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but that's not how you spell boy, but we'll talk about it later. I'm just kidding. I was just kidding, darling. I know what you're talking about. Business owner, something. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you what I do know, what I don't know. But okay, here's why you should establish. Well, we believe. Now I'm gonna say what you should do. Here's why I believe you should establish, or anybody should establish business credit. You apply for business credit, lines of credit outside of your bank. Use your credit card. For instance, you can pay your dues, your memberships. You can leave the card on file. You use a line of credit for. Now, here's the wonderful thing about line of credit. The difference between a loan and a line of credit is that a loan is a payment that money that's given to you that you're going to make payments on the day you get it. Okay, and you pay it down, and once you paid it down, then it's over with. You've done a good job with the bank. They like you. They'll give you another loan. Well, with a line of credit, they can give you very similar money, but you don't pay on it unless you use it. You don't pay on it unless you use it. So that you have a chunk of money sitting on the side that can actually be converted into cash. So a line of credit is some way is in between a loan and a credit card. A credit card, if you want to get cash on it, that's a cash advance. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg for it. With a line of credit, it might have a credit card attached to it, but the money can be used as liquid cash without you paying an arm and a leg. With a loan, you're going to pay an arm and a leg, but they're going to give you the money. But by the time you paid it back, you're going to probably pay twice as much as what they gave you. All right. So my favorite product is lines of credit. That's just me personally. Some people like credit cards. Some people like loans, and most people don't want none of them. Okay, but that's fine. You can use your own money. That's up to you. We're just telling you what business development looks like. Okay. But here's what I'm going to continue to say, and I've said it a number of times: consult with an accountant, a tax professional, attorney for structuring your business, for understanding tax codes related to your line of business accounts, your incorporation status, savings. You're going to have to invest in a specialist in order to help you navigate all this other things that you need to do in order to set your business up for success. Okay, because you want to structure your business so that you can navigate whatever situation comes with markets and taxes and all that stuff, and you need to establish that up first and not be behind the cusp trying to do it. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm 9 minutes over. I'm sorry, but I think we did a good job. We got a lot accomplished. Any questions? Now,
Excellent information.
Darlene asked me about BOI. They came out with BOI last year, I think, and what the government wants you to do, and the people are fighting it. And the reason why they're fighting it is because what I talked about in Nevada. They don't want their entity to be associated with them. But the government is trying to do what's called piercing the corporate veil. Now, I know Sean is on here, and I might not say it right, Sean, but if you want to break down what piercing the corporate veil means, in other words, people have established these businesses for anonymity purposes. And now the government wants the person who is the owner, the beneficial owner of the entity, to come forward and say, it's me. And people are saying, I have a right to be anonymous. I do not want to fill this form out. It violates my rights, et cetera, et cetera. There's been an injunction to stop it. They're going to, so it's all been topsy-turvy. I went on at a time to go ahead and announce who we were, but this website said, hey, you can't do it right now because there's an injunction. So when they turn it back on, I don't have a problem with doing it, but I can see how many people have a problem with doing it. And if you all recall, even I think it was so strange to me in 2022 or 2023, they started asking people, if you made money from criminal activities, please report it to the IRS. I mean, they're just telling, they just say, hey, everybody got to come forward. It's just amazing to me. So we live in very interesting times. And like I said, so my job is to make sure that we keep on moving forward, trying to move strong, move forward, move higher together, serving others. That's what I want to do. But that's all I know about it right now, Darlene. I don't know if they've opened it up or not. I haven't looked at the website since. I try to pay attention to what's going on, but I try not to pay too much attention to what's going on because it becomes very distracting. But once we hear about it, I'll jump back on it. But yeah, I went ahead and tried to apply and they shut it down. But anybody have any questions? And I hope I answered your question, Darlene. That's all I have really.
Absolutely, you did. Thank you.
Okay. Sean, did I talk about the Pearson? Because y'all know Sean is almost an attorney. Did I talk about the Pearson the corporate veil correctly,
Well,
Sean?
I am not an attorney, but
I said almost. I said almost.
yeah, I do need to pass that bar exam, but once I do, but with regards to Pearson and corporate veil, you know, I it really comes down to liability. It's principally usually when it's discussed in the in legal discourse is in the situations where let's say you create an LLC in Nevada, like we mentioned earlier. Well, if you create an LLC in Nevada, but you commit to an action as a member of the board that is so heinous. For example, if you commingle funds of your clients, if you do fraud or misrepresentation for your clients, or if you do something that is so unjust to those that you serve, customer, and they give duty of loyalty and duty of care. The courts may say that the liability, which normally would go to the LLC, and this is why people have LLCs or some type of corporate formation, is to avoid personal liability. So what that means is, just to back up a second, I create the LLC in Nevada. Somebody sues me. Well, it would only take the funds of the LLC, assuming that the LLC loses. It won't affect me as, say, like the CEO and also founder of that LLC. I won't lose my personal funds. But if the courts say that the actions that I committed as the founder of the LLC was so heinous that there must be a piercing of the corporate veil. You know what that means? That means that my personal finances, my personal assets, just as if it was a sole proprietorship, which has zero protection, legal protection, is now in play. I can lose my personal funds because of that. So that is piercing the think of it as a barrier, the corporate barrier, and now you're piercing that veil, and now you're going straight to the members of the board. You're affecting the officers of the company. So yeah, but please don't take whatever I say as legal advice. It should not be relied upon as such. Again, I do want to emphasize I am not an attorney.
Outstanding. Great job, Mr. Porter, giving us all of that valuable insight. And thank you for your question, Darlene and Cheryl and everybody else. And thank you for further clarity, Sean. We appreciate it.
Yeah, wait a minute. Whatever Sean just said at the end of his statement, ditto for me too.
Excellent. One of the things that I will say is that because of the lawsuit that was filed, there's been a halt on the requirement for everybody to file. So you are able to voluntarily file the BOI, but you don't have to at the moment. So just keep a lookout to see what the requirements are to make sure that we are all in compliance. But if you have not just yet, there is no penalty for it at this moment. Great questions.
But that wasn't legal advice.
That's right.
Anybody have any questions? Man, I did all that talking for nothing. They ain't like my presentation, Judge.
You had a lot of comments in the chat.
Yes, we love the presentation. I think everything is covered
Okay.
in the direction. I followed each one of those things right in the direction of what you explained. So that was really good. And it was some things I found out that I need to straighten out because of what you presented. So thank you.
All right. Well, I didn't see all the hearts and things that y'all put when Anitha and Ms. Basby be present. I ain't get all of the little what them things. Let me see if I can do it.
Actually, on the contrary, Mr. Porter, in the chat, they said this information was very helpful. Thank you. Gina put an emoji or a picture in there that says, thank you, really big. Sean said, great job, Mr. Porter. Paula said,
I'm doing my own. How about that?
Paula said that you did such a great job that there are no questions. See, that's how thorough.
Hey, thank you. I like it.
Carol said, she said, thank you so much. This was awesome. So you have a ton of messages in there. So you were very thorough,
Thank you,
alleviating.
thank you. I feel better now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope, yeah. But no, seriously, guys, we just wanted to share this with you. This is some critical information that I wish people would have, somebody would have shared with me. When we first started businesses, we knew to do some of the stuff, but we didn't know how to do a majority of the things. So we just hope that this is a benefit to you. If you know, take advantage of it, learn more about it. We just kind of want to get it in your mind, and then some of you can put it in motion, and others of you can enhance what you've already done. And then you might can come back and teach us some things. All right.
And Miss Pat, she's sending you a shout out as well. She said, great job, dear. Miss Pat's in the office.
Thank you,
You
Miss
can
Pat.
see her sitting behind Anita. You can see her just slightly, but she's sending you messages
All
as
right,
well.
all right, all right.
And then Gina has her hand up. And then we'll turn it right back over to Miss Anita so we can close out.
Okay, thanks for giving me a second. Um, what I really wanted to say is, okay, you all know I'm retired federal government as well. Part of the time was military. I am receiving messages, phone calls, and all from, I'm going to say us baby boomers. There have been notices sent already to people in the federal government about the severance pay. So they're offering an early out. Some agencies are. And some people, whatever, they got a certain time frame. It's a reduction in force, basically sum it all up. With that being said, there may be an influx of people selling their homes because they may not be able to afford the payments, or downsizing. So I believe the last baby boomer will be eligible to retire or supposed to retire. I believe it's by December 30, well, turning 65, I think they said by December 31st of 2035, 20 something. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I think 2030. So I'm just saying that may be a good thing for us as far as listings. However, hoping folk qualify for the purchasing. But I just wanted to toss that out there for a second.
Yes, thank you, Gina. And that's another thing to remember, guys. People always need a place to live, or maybe need to make some type of transition in life. And your real estate license, and I think that Jasmine taught me this a long time ago. Your real estate license positions you to listen to the market and to make the adjustment. So thank you for that information.
And one of the things that I'll say, just to comment on that very quickly, thank you for that information, Gina. No matter what is happening on a political scale, no matter what's happening in the financial market, it is always the time to own a home. So I want to make sure that every Realty Pro is perfectly clear. It does not matter what's going on in the White House. If people are upset, people are excited, it does not matter, because there is no point in time in which it is not the best time for a person to be financially solvent, for them to have security, for them to have their own place, for them to be able to build equity, for them to have an asset, for them to have a place of their own, despite what's happening in the world around them. It is always the time to own your own home. We know about all of the tax benefits of home ownership, so they get more of their own money that they would have been paying in rent. So whether these are people who will need to sell or the buyers who will need to buy, let us embrace these conversations, because as you discuss whatever is going on in the market with people, they will have a concern with what's going on in the White House and the policies that are coming about. But you got to be able to continuously, with passion and confidence, sell them on the features, advantages, and benefits of home ownership. Because it does not behoove anybody to wait in order to buy a house, or if they need to, scale down or downsize to something that's more affordable to them. it is always, always the time for ownership, okay? So no matter what's going on in the market, we are here to be of assistance to people, whether they're scaling up or downsizing or coming into the market for the first time, we're here. You know what we believe. We're ministers in the marketplace. So we are absolutely here to be of service to people. So be confident, be bold in those conversations with people. When you're in a space, don't allow it to be ruled by fear. You help people no matter what's going on in the market, because we have a solution for every single problem that they have. So let us move forward in that boldness and courage in the fact that we have a solution no matter what their problem is. All right. Thank you so much for that comment. I appreciate you. And we are well over time, but that information was so great, Mr. Porter. Hats off to you again. And I turn it back over to you, Anita, to close us out.
Thank you all. Thank you. Yes, that was really great, Mr. Porter. Thank you so much for, sharing with us what you have received. We really do appreciate it in helping us to establish our business as a business. Thank you again. And I personally am going to take advantage of all of the information. There are several of us that are going to move forward with this. I don't believe there's any additional, well, of course, we have our mastermind this evening. You all please prepare to join us this evening. This is going to be a virtual training, so you can, join us where you are. And I don't think we have any open houses this weekend, but yes, so want to thank you all again for joining us. If you all need anything, please reach out. If you need support with anything, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. If not, absolutely be safe. Expo volunteers needed. Yes. So we are excited because our first Expo of 2025 is very quickly approaching. It is scheduled and on the calendar for March 15th, which is a Saturday. We need all hands on deck. There is a request that was put in the WhatsApp group chat, and we will repost that so it can be up at the top of the announcements. But please, if you are interested in volunteering, please to support, please throw your name in there. There is going to be a lot of areas that are we need assistance with. And want you all also, I think it's great for us to experience the expo. You never know when you'll be called upon to spearhead the expo. You just never know. So come and join us and lend your support. Also, we're going to be getting our flyers out very soon, so you can start inviting individuals to come and join us as well, because that's the purpose of it, is to provide information for home buyers. Okay.
Anita, real quick, Sean dropped a message in the chat. We can go ahead and write his name down, whoever's keeping that. He said that he can assist and he can rope in his. So it sounds like we're going to have the wonderful Evelyn with us as well.
Great.
And I'll say a brief comment about this evening, guys. This evening is a very different type of, it's not a training. This is a vision board activity, if you will. So we've been going over goals. We've been going over all the things that are important, the single most important thing for us to accomplish this year. And, we believe in writing the vision and making it plain. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull together all of the images behind the things that we're believing to do, the things that we're believing to have, the places we're believing to go, and everything that we look to accomplish this year. And we're going to put those things together in a vision board. And Darlene is going to lead us in that endeavor. And once that's done, we want you guys to print those things out, keep them on your refrigerator, keep them in front of you, because those things will allow you to keep your eyes on the prize and to remain focused on all the things that you look to accomplish this year. So it's a very intentional time that we're spending, and we've already written our business plan, if you will, but now we're going to actually add images to it to help us to remain focused. So very important, very impactful. We want you guys to participate because it's for you. All right. Thanks so much.
And I want to say one last thing. I told Kermar he was going to forget what he was going to say.
Kermon will likely call you offline.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. You don't remember.
I did not forget. You answered it in your presentation.
Okay.
See?
We'll let you slide on that one.
All right.
Yeah. We love you guys.
And Gina put a message in. She says she's going to volunteer as well.
All right,
Yes.
great.
All right.
I
If you
have-
guys would do us a favor and drop that into the WhatsApp group chat to help our leaders to keep better track, so they'll have everybody. You guys are the best.
Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Yes. See you in just a couple hours. Take care.